Hello, people of YouTube and social media. Hmm. So, I am doing a reaction video and response, I guess, sort of video. And this is for some videos that Jaclyn Glenn had 8 years ago, and I actually liked what she had said back then, and it really resonated with me in a very similar way. And I figured I would do a response video now, even though I could have done it 8 years ago or back then, but back then I didn't have very very good recording um, microphones back then, so I figured now would be the best time. So here we go with the video.
Hey guys, so I just started this channel to do vlogs about a bunch of random stuff. I have another channel in the description, but it's not very serious. It's just about videos really about my pets and one of me singing, which isn't that great, so if I were you, I would avoid it. But anyways, this channel is more serious. It's about, or it's going to be about different current events, personal issues, and life experiences that I want to share with you and talk about and get opinions and sometimes even advice. I also started this channel because I have been on YouTube for a long time, just kind of watching and not so much interacting, and now I want to start, participating more and making videos because I'm realizing that YouTube has actually affected me a lot. I subscribed to a lot of people whenever I started off that I felt gave good messages, and they changed me. I'm trying to think of a specific example because I want to give you guys a few examples. There are so many though that I learned from. I would say one would be Onision. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he has a lot of very strong messages, and some of his videos are actually kind of crazy, but in a good way, good crazy. But if he has something that he doesn't agree with, he will make it very clear that he doesn't agree with it, and I'm sure he offends a lot of people, and it's kind of hard to do anything without offending somebody. So if in the future I ever offend somebody, just try not to be too nasty about it. Just, it's hard to talk about serious issues without coming into a situation like that. So I'll try to be very delicate with what I say, but I'm sure at some point somebody's going to get upset. And that's kind of life. But he didn't care at all. He actually tried to probably push people's buttons a little bit. He wanted to make those strong statements, and he almost condemned people who didn't agree with him. But, I personally wouldn't say that that's normally a good thing, but it obviously is because it affected me and it worked on me. He makes a lot of videos about being a vegetarian, and they're very harsh. And
I agree. It is very much hard to say things and stuff without offending people, and sometimes I think it's better to get the words out and then contemplate on finding a way of communication and hopefully make um, a peaceful sort of, I guess, method. I guess I don't know, and hmm. I guess that's pretty much what it would be, trying to not offend, even though it's kind of impossible not to offend somebody and stuff. But the way Onision does do things and stuff, now that I kind of know a little bit about him from years of things and stuff, I guess it is very hard. And I don't know if I would even want to hang out with someone like that, pretty much, to be honest. In fact, I definitely do not know.
But a lot of what he says is true, and I took it to heart, and it really did change me and made a difference. So, I am not going to do that. On the other hand, I'm not going to be extremely critical or putting anybody down, but I will talk about serious issues like that. I will talk about current events and different things that I believe in, that I strongly advocate, and I'll probably, talk about a lot of my personal experiences, and sometimes I'll even ask for advice because, everybody has their problems, and, it's always good to hear from other people how they handle these similar situations. Now, as for why I made this account, other than the reasons I already mentioned, I actually want to help people. As cliche as it sounds, I really do. Right now I'm in medical school because I genuinely want to help people. I know that sounds silly, but I learned so many things from the videos that I watched, and I want to help other people. So, I'm going to post videos because I'm curious about what people think, and sometimes I'm going to need the advice, like I said. I get extremely frustrated sometimes. I want to pull my hair out because I'm studying all day and I'm just tired, and, I just can't learn the information, and I'm reading it so many times, and it's just, there's other things going on too in life that it's just kind of hard to focus sometimes. So, this will be a good way to kind of vent and hear how people manage stress, because that's something that I have a problem with, to be honest. Yeah, I'm like up here, stressed, and I need to be like way down here. Anyways, enough about that. What else? A lot of friends tell me that I'm extremely opinionated, but that I give good advice. So I'll just take that overall as a compliment and, use it in this situation to give people advice if they need it. So if you have any questions, post them in the comments below, and I'll do a video about it if you want. Anything ranging from pets to current events to relationship questions, as lame as it sounds, to even maybe medical questions if you're curious about something you can't find online, but what's not online? I don't know. I'm kind of ranting right now. Anyways, if you want to ask me a question, like I said, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. And as always, rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later.
I like the part where you said about helping others as well as having stress from going to college and stuff back then. Yeah, I think I would probably have that too, but I've never been to college, so maybe one day I will be able to, but right now I kind of just do music, and I like to do poetry as well and stuff, and writing songs, and um, anyway, back on to what I was going to say. As far as I stress, I had some a whole lot of stress back in 2001, where I was working at Walmart, Walmart in Louisville, Kentucky, which was on a street known as the Westport Road. And I had a lot of difficulty there because there was um, a girl that worked there whom I kind of made a mistake, sort of, trying to ask her out, and didn't go so well, and it's kind of crazy after that point, and I kind of backed away, but then she started kind of accusing me of things that I did not do, and it gave me a, a huge amount of stress and anxiety and depression. And at that time, I was also kind of struggling because I was actually a Christian back in like pretty much like a very early, still kind of new to the Christian belief, and so it was very hard for me, and I'm still Christian, but I kind of see myself more as a spiritual person and not really religious. And that's what we do. I wanted to make this video and explain and what let me think.
Hey guys, so yesterday I was having a pretty intense conversation with someone about God and religion, and they made the comment that God will never give us more than we can handle. And I'll start off by saying, first of all, that I would consider myself a Christian. I mean, I believe in God, but I don't agree with a lot of people on things, and this is one of them. You know, I get kind of mad, honestly, when people say something like that, like, God never gives us more than we can handle, or, I was saved from this horrible situation because God was looking after me. Um, and like I said, I do believe in God, but I just feel kind of like we're stuck on earth in this place, and He gave us free will, and that isn't only to make good choices, and it isn't only for the good people who make good choices. Free will is also for people who are evil and hurt others. I mean, and if God doesn't control everything we do, which is why I don't believe in fate, the Bible talks about free will. If He doesn't control everything we do, then He can't control people who do bad things either. So when someone says God was looking after me and that's why I didn't get hurt in this situation, it's like, no, because He would not have interceded on your behalf and stopped someone else, because that would be taking away their free will, and that would go against what you're supposed to believe, right? And the other thing that bothers me is when people say He'll never give us more than we can handle, because I completely disagree with that. There are so many horror stories I could tell you about that definitely people had more than they can handle. I mean, I was watching the news yesterday, which is always a bad idea, but I was watching the news and they mentioned this 13-year-old Syrian boy who was shot, burned by cigarettes, bones were broken, they castrated him and sent his body back to his parents. I'm pretty sure that that was a little bit more than he could handle, or his parents, or, anybody in terrible situations like that. And I just kind of feel like when people say, God was looking after me, or He'll never give me more than I can handle, it just makes me feel like, what makes you think you're better or more special to God than all of these other people who are suffering? And it just seems very shallow and arrogant to me. I know they don't mean it that way, but it just comes off to me that way, and it just kind of pisses me off a little bit. So, what do you guys think? Do you think if you believe in God, do you think that He will step in and take care of you if you need it? Do you believe that He'll never give you more than you can handle? And if you do, what do you think about all the people out there who are suffering and they don't have anybody helping them? So why would He help you?
Yeah, I actually agree with you on that statement you mentioned on the Syrian boy, 13 or whatever, 13 years old or whatever. And I would agree that was pretty harsh, and that's kind of one reason why I kind of don't watch the news all the time because that hearing stuff like that, it just kind of hurts me inside, and I kind of just don't want to think about it. And unfortunately, in reality, it is kind of hard. And when religious people and stuff that noticed and stuff in the past, sometimes they mean well and stuff, and sometimes they can kind of not think about what they do have, and then if they do have things going good, then what about others in the world and stuff? Because a lot of people don't have it as easy, and a lot of people actually struggle more than others, and I think we're all pretty much in this together as humanity, and that we should pretty much, I guess, try to stand together and help one another and stuff, and then hopefully make this world a better place. And it is very hard to realize that sometimes we have this. It's like a wall that's preventing us from coming together. And I think that the one thing that keeps us apart is was always been our there's a more fancy word for it, but I just cannot think of it at the moment. So I will just say it makes a paradox. Paradox. What the heck was I thinking? Anyway, so moving on.
Hey everyone. I don't know why people have decided to ask me this, but I've been getting a lot of questions asking me whether or not there's a God. And first, let me ask you guys a question. To all the believers out there, do you know that there's a God? And to all the atheists out there, do you know that there isn't a God? All right, if anybody answered yes to that, I'd really like to have your reference, because the truth is that nobody knows. It basically comes down to what you believe. Unfortunately, today it's become harder and harder to believe because religion has really skewed our perception of what God is. And even if you do believe, no one knows the right way to believe. So for people trying to decide where they stand on this question, religion can actually push them further and further away because of all the hypocrisies you can find in religion. Different religions claim to know what God wants or to know what you need to get into heaven. But people created religion, not God. God is not a religion, no matter if you believe in Jesus, follow Muhammad, or neither. God is still God. Muslims, Jews, and Christians all pray to the same God. Our religions differ, but we have the same God. If you don't believe me, look it up. Maybe later I'll make a complete video on it. But between Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, Christianity is actually the most different. So my message to those of you who are confused on this question is to not base your beliefs on religion. Don't rely on religion to show you the answer because you won't find it. God isn't hiding in a church or a mosque or a synagogue. It's pretty much something that you have to come to terms with on your own. I mean, once I quit trying to work out all the details, I let go of them. I believe in God, I believe that He loves everyone, and I believe that we should be good people. That's it. Once you realize that God loves you just as much as any other person, you'll realize that you have no place to condemn them because you think they have it wrong. Once you realize that God loves every one of His creations, you'll start to treat animals better. You'll start to treat the earth that He created better. Right now, a lot of people claiming to know everything about God condemn other religions and say they're going to hell. They contribute towards the brutality shown towards animals, and they pollute the earth without even thinking about it. God didn't just create their world with their religion. God doesn't follow their rules, and neither should anyone else. That's the difference between following a religion and following God. So if you're looking for some sort of clarity in all of this, please don't turn towards a religion and expect them to have the answers for you. Because, honestly, nobody knows. Alright, bye guys.
And I totally agree with that. What you said there right at the end, Jaclyn Glenn, I very much agree that God cannot be found in religion, or on the contrary, I believe that religion is actually what is keeping people from God or Jesus or whatever. Pretty much is that, and it's like a it's like we're trying to get to where we want to be, and if we don't grasp the ideal that what God is pretty much something more than what we could be, or something, and I think that religion is preventing us from for being able to know God in a more, what do you how did I say it, a personal level. Kind of strange. See, my background is when I was a teenager going to school, I was an atheist, and it was kind of a very odd experience for me because what had happened, I try not to really talk about it as much because it kind of forces me to remember a very traumatic experience that I have had, and what happened. Me and my family ended up um, homeless because of my uncle's decision to do drugs, and pretty much spent a lot of money on um, I think it is crack or something. And what have happened was that things became very difficult, and we were struggling, and I was in school at the time and picked up from school, and a very crazy ride on the expressway, and it was very traumatizing, if you could understand me. and that's pretty much how it was. And I made a phone call to my old babysitter, and she told me just pray to God and pray to Jesus. And I was like, yeah, right. No myth was gonna help me in that time, and she pretty much challenged me to see what happens in the process because I already lost just about everything, and it was very scary at the time. And then what happened was I went ahead and prayed, and what we got them back to this motel that we were in, and it was very difficult for me. And then I went ahead and prayed, and the strangest thing was I felt calm after doing that, and I guess it was like quote unquote a peaceful feeling. And then my prayer actually, I guess, was answered, and then I started believing. And then years later, after that, I began to kind of wonder if perhaps I made a mistake in believing in this religion of Christianity, and I kind of struggled with more depression coming, as I mentioned earlier, from this job I had at Walmart, which they fired me also after I had a asthma attack, which is a very difficult thing to have, pretty much, and that's why I have a disability. Sorry for my speech, and that's pretty much what kind of brought me to believing that there was something out there, and that it did bring me comfort, and it still does every now and then. It's just I don't like how religion seems to be, because I think the way I feel is like you have, like as you said, religion is made by men, and that I don't think God even planned even for any religion to be invented. And I believe that religion is kind of a way to control people's lives and stuff. And I think life could be much better without religion, because we would be able to have a better concept of life, and morals is good to have and stuff to keep us to know from right and wrong. And I think sometimes some of the things in the Bible pretty much make sense, like the um, the things Jesus said on during his famous Sermon on the Mount, and that's pretty much one thing I could agree with. Like pretty much love your enemies and stuff like that, and pray for them, and that's pretty much all real people can do and stuff. Anyway, I guess pretty much, but imagining how hard it is to actually pray for someone that pretty much put you through hell. Forgiveness is kind of a hard thing, but I guess if Jesus could do it, I guess he'd probably be the only one and stuff. And I don't know what the ultimate plan is, so I guess we're all pretty much just lightly on the thread of either becoming logically rational with each other, or wind up in the way that's been going for thousands and thousands of years. Crocky. Bloody hell. Sorry on that last statement. Anyway, this video is getting pretty long, so I think I'm going to wrap this video up. So, feel free to comment below, or even, if you'd like to Skype or something, or respond to this video, feel free, and, talk to you later. And peace. That's, I think, what we all need is peace. Rock and roll in peace. Yeah. Later. Bye.